When you see Kate and William, you can't help but wonder, what is the secret to having that kind of connection? Their body language is always overflowing with chemistry. And there's an answer thanks to the concept of the 5 love languages that you're about to find out. Welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and it would be great if you join us by just liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that bell. Let's get down to it. Well, to be fair, the only way we can affirm that William and Kate have a strong bond and connection is through their body language. Most of us don't know them personally, much less have a close friendship with them, so we cannot ask them directly. So we have to appeal to the external manifestation of their emotions. And it's always important to remember that body language, more than being a communication channel, is a way of transmitting emotions without words. That's the most precise definition. And of course, Kate and William communicate those emotions to each other. But since they're public figures, we end up watching their interactions and, in some way, sharing some of those emotions. There are hundreds of photo examples of their interactions, but in my opinion, one of the most relevant in recent time is this one. They were at the kitchen of a youth club and they were baking St. David's Day Welsh cakes. Just take a look at their body language, attitude, and general emotions for a couple seconds, and we'll be talking about this photo in a few minutes. Now, if body language is a manifestation of internal emotions, then those emotions must come from somewhere. In the case of a couple, there is a mutual body language that sparks from their combined interactions. That's when you feel when a couple is in sync, not only in their gestures and general posture and demeanor, but in the way they look and talk to each other. This is very difficult to define precisely due to the fact that when a couple looks naturally happy, there's nothing really outstanding that we can pinpoint. There's no 10 body language clues of a happy couple, because if every person is different, then the combination of 2 of them is going to be different from everybody else too. What is an interesting paradox here is that the body language of a happy couple that we can see is very hard to define in itself. But the emotions that are absolutely hidden from us, well, there is a way that we can confirm that people really enjoy being with one another. And that's where the 5 love languages enter the scene. The 5 love languages is a book by Gray Chapman, originally published in 1992. Dr. Chapman spent years taking notes with couples he was counseling when he recognized a pattern. He realized that couples were misunderstanding one another and each other's needs of affection. In other words, they were speaking in different love languages. And that's an obstacle that happens exactly like everyday languages. Maybe you're desperate to be understood, to communicate with someone, but if you speak French and they only understand German, no matter your efforts and no matter each one's disposition, your communication will be broken. But if you speak French and the other German, at least you'll know why you are not getting the message across. But what happens if neither of you is aware of the mismatch in languages? Even more so in a realm so emotional as relationship love. And yes, most couples spend years without realizing that they could be talking in a love language different than their partner's preferred way of love expression. And this could be extremely easy to be misunderstood as lack of love and affection. You can imagine what happens with their body language as a couple and what is the vibe that others get from them. Now, these 5 love languages are really easy to remember. They are words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts. Words of affirmation is about expressing affection through spoken words, praise or appreciation. When this is someone's primary love language, they enjoy kind words, love notes, cute text messages, and compliments in general. Quality time refers to undivided attention. The person feels loved if you are present and focused on them. This means, of course, putting down your phone, establishing eye contact, and making sure that you're actively listening to them. And this is important, not offering unsolicited advice, just listening. Physical touch refers to people that feel loved through physical affection, and this goes way beyond sex. It can be something as simple as holding their hand, touching their arm, or embracing on the couch. Close contact is the magic word here. Acts of service are extremely simple tasks that you do for your loved one throughout any day. It can be helping with cooking or the dishes, fixing something that they use, or putting gas in the car. Maybe you think this is way too pragmatic to be considered as acts of love. But yes, there are people that express and like to receive their affection in this way. And finally, giving gifts is a love language in which it's not only about the gift itself, but the time and effort put into it. And of course, how relevant and intimate is the reference of the gift itself to the bond you have with your partner. And this is important. It's not about how big or how expensive is the gift, but how it represents thinking and feeling about the other person. So it's important that each partner reflects about how they like to receive love, which in turn will be the way that they usually express it. So the idea is to foster a mutual understanding and empathy between the two and find creative ways to blend both languages. Now, this is important. We love formulas and life will be so much simpler if we could just apply them and call it a day. We can never oversimplify general guidances like the 5 love languages, because that will have the exact opposite effect, as we would be enclosing ourselves and our partner in boxes that communicate less than before. So yes, some emotional intelligence is needed to make this work. Now, why did I mention this photo of William and Catherine, and what does it have to do with the 5 love languages? Well, William has said many times that one of the things that made him fall in love with Kate was her sense of humor. And that's something that you can spot in this picture, as he's inviting him for a friendly baking face-off in front of everyone. In fact, later she made a remark about his efforts, saying that his cooking area was a bit messy. Now, these laid-back attitudes are really hard to fake, especially because William is a very tense man, and you can see how Catherine helps him relax and don't take himself so seriously. If you've studied a second language, you may have noticed that one of the hardest things to achieve is to be spontaneously amusing. It's not about just learning a joke and saying it out loud, but be able to express your sense of humor on command in your second language. That's really difficult. You need to be really comfortable with your command of the language and, of course, be confident that the other person is receiving your intended way of communicating with them. So, the fact that William and Kate have so much chemistry to the point of being able to be mutually amusing to each other and in a natural way can only mean that they feel supportive and loving of each other. Again, it will be really hard to fake, and as anything fake, it could slip at any time. My body language buddies, you have asked me more than once about what is the body language of a loving couple. And here's my answer. It depends from person to person and, of course, from one couple to another. And we are not even taking into account personality traits, whether people are introverts or extroverts, and other factors that could affect their behavior in public. But I thought it would be much more useful if I presented some of the underlying emotions, and in this case, love languages, that are essential for the true manifestation of love between two people. And anyone can overcome any obstacle with introspection and empathy for your partner's way of experiencing and expressing their love. And a great way to do this is just trying to remember the moments in your life that you felt really loved. And what was happening at that moment? How were you experiencing that love? Of course, it will be great if you watch this video with your partner and then do the exercise together. I'm sure you will feel great. If you want to refine your observation skills, all you have to do is download my 100 body language tips right in the description of this video. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas, and it will always be a pleasure, my body language buddies. Much love and bliss.